Cambodia section of our story. Well, Apollo did a thing. And after successfully completing said thing, he collapsed to the ground in a pile of pain and convulsions, and after vomiting a stream of pure magic, bright gold and volatile, he collapsed onto the ground in a circle of his own feathers, his wings no longer there. And Alstro, you and Saya obviously bore witness to this, and we will pick up immediately after that happens. Saya looks at Apollo's currently unconscious body, though it obviously won't remain so for too long. And she looks over to you. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but that certainly wasn't it.
Alistair's just kind of in shock right now. And just like gonna go check up on him.
Yeah, she was about to say something about that. And as you approach Apollo, you start awake. And as you do, you almost like your breath hitches as you like shoot back up, because you kind of fell face down. You kind of almost push yourself up halfway as you go, and as that happens, in a surge of raw emotion and power, the area immediately around him catches on fire. The grass, the snow immediately melts, and the grass is almost instantaneously incinerated in a flash of fire, and it doesn't spread, but for about a 3 to 5, well, about 5 foot radius around Apollo. Boom! Basically, all of the grass is singed.
What the hell's going on?
As you look around, Apollo, you see. First off, you feel like a weight has been lifted off of your shoulders, quite literally. And as you look around, charred and singed feathers are scattered amidst the area immediately. And you feel strange. I don't want to quite say empty. That doesn't quite encapsulate it, but there's definitely something that's not within you anymore that was before. It's like a pit, a hole in your existence, but it doesn't hurt, and it isn't necessarily an ill feeling. It's just an alien feeling.
This is odd.
Sorry.
Are you hurt? Do you feel... Does anywhere hurt?
No, I feel strange though.
Apollo, make deep breaths.
All right.
I need you to remain calm. But I believe what you did with your beef stone turned you human.
Come again. He's
She
gonna
just takes a deep breath.
look back at his back and try to flex his wings.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
He's gonna start ripping off clothing and start feeling around.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Apollo,
There's no wounds. There's no burn marks. There's nothing like that. It's like they were never there.
Apollo, we should go back to camp.
Give me a minute.
Of course.
I imagine this has to be quite the change. I have to admit, I did not know what would happen if you tried this. This was not what I expected. Though if this happened from something like this, I think it's safe to say that your gods very well might have done something similar in that book of yours.
So Elstridge is probably going to wait until,
Yeah?
like,
Apollo's pretty much gonna lie down in the scorched earth that he made. And
It also seems that you found yourself a bit of magical aptitude, Apollo.
pardon?
if you look around, you did this. And you gesture to the burned grass.
I burnt all of this.
She nods.
Well, Elstra, I'm going to I think I'm gonna head back. Stay. Stay for a while. You head back to camp.
She thinks it over for a minute. I can't do that, not with you in this state.
Thanks to your sister, I can leave a note with you for the captain.
What are you planning on doing?
Well, I figured out some things from my past, and, well, I gotta sort them out.
Not, not to mention, you did kind of make history. I don't think anyone else in the world has done something like this.
Well, no one living. Like you said, what, in a book? Or in... Their gods did this to someone else way back when?
Perhaps.
But Apollo, did I hear you right? Did I understand that correctly in that you're just going off alone?
For a bit, yeah.
She takes a deep breath. And just leave a note.
Well, I'd rather not them see me in this state for now. He's gonna gesture to all of him.
I think I understand that better than most people, Apollo. But I don't think I can condone that. Namely, for practical reasons alone, you've just... We don't know what else has happened to you. What else could happen to you? And if you're going off on your own, it might happen, and if no one is there to help, then
Don't worry, I won't be wandering the woods. I'll just be another human. And I'll make it to Lagala later, just not now. I just want some time to think, time explain myself to the others.
Elstro takes a deep breath. We don't always have to lecture ourselves to others, Apollo. Time. Do that. Apollo, just talk to the people that care about you. Nothing good comes from holding things in, from waiting. If you do that, you end up a mess like I am. Making the same mistakes. I know it's not going to be easy, but do you really want to hurt the people that care about you by shutting them out like that?
I'm not in the mood to talk to anyone right now.
Then don't. But you don't have to leave to not talk to people. It's very easy not to talk to people and be right next to them. I'm not saying you have to come clean about everything right away, or explain why you did what you did right then and now, but
Let's see. From the recent trauma that he's gone through, the last sentence that he spoke, he's really riled up right now. He's very adamant.
and so am I. Like, Alistair just sighs again. Fine. Do what you will. You seem to do anyway. But I won't stop anyone from. And they're going to look for you. I just thought I might spare them that worry. And she stands up and goes back to camp.
I'll see you later then. Don't know when that will be.
You know where to find me, Astroman.
Elster just noping out of this entire
That's
situation.
entirely right. I wish you the best, Apollo.
Is Alstro gone?
I assume, yeah.
How do I find you if I need to talk to you again?
Her an eyebrow raises. And why would you need to find me?
I don't know what to do with this. He's gonna wave his hand around. Try to, I don't know, fire. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I heard you are a practicer of such things.
You want me to teach you how to use your magic?
Just a bit, anyway.
I can't say you'll find my way, way of working, way of controlling magic to be something that you want to emulate or something that you could emulate.
I don't care if you have to put me through hell as long as it works. Apparently, I traded my wings for this.
And so now it's my responsibility to make sure that you have a nice and fulfilling life then.
Hell no. But if we could make a arrangement, that'd be fine too.
She crosses one of her arms and brings the other hand kind of arms crossed together up to her chin, kind of ponderously for a second. She kind of squints at you, her red eyes kind of burning a hole in you in contemplation. And what could you have that I might possibly want, Apollo? That I couldn't take by myself if I wanted.
Well, that's the idea of working on an arrangement. You see something you want in the future, and I'll help you get it.
She go ahead and actually yeah, go ahead and make a negotiation. It's going to be against we're going to do 3 difficulty.
Would I have time? Would I have had time to restore any of the strain?
No.
No. Okay. 3 difficulty. That's it. Base.
Yeah, I think just flat that.
May I use a story point?
Yeah, go for it.
There we go.
Nice. She ponders for another moment, kind of tapping her chin in contemplation. All right then, Apollo. We'll see what we can do about your fancy new tricks. And as I've been hearing lately, I believe the humans have something that they call a favor. I suppose you owe me one of them, don't you?
I suppose so.
I'll have you know, I don't usually travel with others. I'm counting on you not to slow me down.
I used to be quite fast in the air, but once I'm used to these, I should be quite fast. He's gonna slap his legs.
I sure hope so. And that's probably a good place to stop that part.
Hey guys!
Well, that's hilarious.
Jesus.
Oh man. All right. And Apollo's gonna go off with Saya, who's gonna, teach him how to not light himself on fire, I guess. The most unconventional magic teacher in the world. Everybody's just agreeing. Oh Christ. All right. So yeah,
Now I have to explain to all of the camp why Apollo's gone.
are you just straight
Aren't you
telling them what
excited?
happened?
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, rather than playing that out with every person, obviously, I think we'll just
Just all be angry at her at the same time.
probably real quick. I'll play out we can play out with Sinclair and Varro, because those are probably the two that need to know this the most. And so the next morning, as camp is breaking, you would obviously notice, like, Sinclair is out taking stock of, like, Alstra, you would see him storming about, muttering to himself about where that goddamn kid has gotten himself off to, blah blah blah.
Good morning, Sinclair.
Oh, let's see what's up.
She just takes a deep breath. I couldn't help but overhear while I was gone.
That obvious, huh?
Well, I can provide some insight into that.
He looks at you.
And she's just going to explain what happens.
Before you do, he like holds his hand up to you for a second. He says, "Hang on a second. Is this the kind of explanation I'm gonna want to be drunk for?"
Yes.
He just like reaches down into a boot flask and like takes a swig, and he says, "I'll go get the captain." And you guys, and you'll explain to them And Varro's brow knits together in confused anger and says, "The hell do you mean the hell do you mean he went off into the wilderness?"
That's exactly what he did.
I- And you're making it sound like you don't have any intentions of what coming back, eh?
His intentions seemed to be meet us up in Legala later, but he didn't want to, quote, explain himself.
Fucking kid. He crashes into me deck over a decade ago, and he thinks he'd have to explain the fact that he lost his wings somewhere along the way. I don't bloody care what the hell he is. Varro just kind of puts his hands on his hips and shakes his head. Well, I suppose I knew it would come to something like this eventually. Guess I'll have to find myself a new first mate. I hope the lad don't go and get himself killed. He's a good lad and a hard-working one at that.
Elster just sighs again. I'm sorry.
Oh, it ain't your fault. The boy had made his own decision. Even if you, I'm assuming you also told him about Saya.
Yeah.
Even if you're the one what brought him to that she-witch.
Though I also told him that when I brought Apollo to them, he told me that they were just going to talk.
That's mostly probably the big reason why he doesn't blame you for this at all. Like, whatever. Like, he's a grown-ass man. He made his own decision. And he doesn't really have any strong feelings about Saya because he didn't really interact with her too much. His only dealings with her is like on the peripheries of what happened with Misty. So, well, hopefully the lad'll find his way wherever he's trying to go. And he won't light his arse on fire along the way.
Let's all hope.
And yeah, so I assume. What do you think you're gonna be? Are you just gonna tell others that he's gone, or are you just gonna tell others like basically everything? Because there's also Saya's around too. Are you telling other people that too? Or that she was around?
I mean, I basically did already.
That's fair, yeah.
And it's not like they can do anything about it.
It's true. It's very true. No, clearly you set a trap for Saya where you lure her out, and then you guys all just ambush her.
That would be neat.
That would be mean.
And crunchy.
A little bit, yeah.
No crunchy fighting her.
Or she'd just leave.
Or yeah.
Bye.
Fuck this.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. Like,
and yeah, so that's a thing that'll spread about the camp, and I'm sure through connections and such will eventually probably not all of the information, but some of that information will probably end up with the Zodians once you guys get to Hest.
Mhm.
through Misty, obviously, because I tell Misty.
Yeah, and if you tell Misty, that means Estrella will eventually find out, and she fucking finds this bitch in the wilderness. She's gonna skewer her, but she won't, because that would be counterintuitive
Just
to
the cat and
survive.
mouse game between Estrella and
Pretty
Saya.
much, yeah. Like at least a small amount of resources are going to be put towards making sure that she does not touch Zodia.
Don't touch my people.
And obviously that'll only work. But yeah, but along the way, probably a few days out from Hest, Jacob, there was a thing that you wanted to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, you guys make camp like as the sun is starting to go down one evening. And yeah, as you look about the mercenaries and the pirates that were up with you guys, they're all kind of making their way about, and so you're looking for Marilyn, right?
Yeah. Before I did do this, could I roll to try and get Tempest to calm the fuck down?
Oh, like in preparation.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Like, basically, if I remember right, she has like the what's it?
Stubborn 2 or something like that.
Stubborn 2. Yeah. So could I roll a survival check to try and reduce that, or like, you know,
Yeah.
get her basically so I can get nifty boost die because she's actually being helpful instead of trying to borderline kill everyone.
Yeah. So make a survival check against 2 difficulty, but with 2 setback dice. But I will give you a boost dice because you guys have been together for.
Okay. Cool. And I have knack for it with survival, so get rid of those 2 boost die.
There we go.
And
That's fun. Yeah, you just completely ignore that.
Yeah. So, and you gave me a boost die.
Yes.
So do. Okay.
Ha!
Damn.
I think that means that she's just gonna actually like Marilyn. I think
Holy
that's what that means.
I mean, I'll take that. I mean, I'll like, hey, that can make she can be number number 3 on the people other than Jacob, that Tempest, you know.
And that would make sense. And yeah, so she's in a relatively calm mood today. Weird.
All right, cool. I'll take it. And could I also use that roll to lessen the stubborn thing?
Yeah, effectively, it's gonna mean that you'll be able to get rid of the setback dice for that. So
Nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, I like, you know, after first being a little bit nervous because Tempest is never this cheerful. Like, Jacob will like spend a little time with her, like, you know, just, you know, feeding her, brushing her a little bit, just, you know, basic chores, and then yeah, he'll go looking for Marilyn.
and yeah, you find her and Elliot just around with a couple of the other mercenaries, just like in the general vicinity, just around a hearth. They're just kind of talking, not really doing anything in particular. She's her and Elliot are just speaking quietly to each other. Just like she's just kind of scraping some excess residue from the from her mess kit is after supper and all that, and just kind of about doing their things, nothing in particular.
Hey, Marilyn?
She looks up. Oh, Jacob?
Hi. You guys sick?
She like looks up at you and kind of like she kind of tilts her head a little bit, and yeah, I do. And she looks over to Elliot and she gives him a kiss on the cheek, and she'll get up and she'll follow you.
All right,
What's
I'm
up?
like, here, walk with me a bit. And Jacob's gonna start like moseying in the direction of Tempest. So the other day, when you and Loxley and myself were doing the shopping thing, I sort of bit your head off.
A little bit, yeah, but
Yeah.
things considered, I suppose I kind of walked into it.
No cause for you didn't know you were touching on a sore spot, so anyway, I didn't have call or cause uh, to speak harshly with you. Uh, so shit. I'm sorry.
She she smiles. It's no biggie. People make mistakes. It's all good. Water under the bridge. I mean, it better be. We're about to be sharing a boat ride for a few months. Wouldn't do to have us at each other's throats.
Yeah, that's a good recipe for nighttime murder. Ain't exactly my thing. So, well, seeing as water under the bridge, I followed it, but I might have something a little bit extra, or additional, I guess you could say, in mind.
Oh, you
Yeah,
don't have to. You don't have to worry about that.
It's nothing, honestly. Fair warning though, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. They're involved. But I don't know. Assuming you don't die, it could be pretty fun. And once something that well, common folk don't exactly get an opportunity to do very often. Well, unless you're me, I guess. And as he's like saying that, they come come within sight of Tempest.
And she like looks at you and back over to the unicorn. So what's this all about exactly?
Well, I was thinking, it's kind of just a way of making up a little bit. See if you'd be interested in taking riding Tempest a bit. Assuming she doesn't try and buck you off and trample you to death, of course.
Her eyes kind of like widen for a second. Oh, whoa.
No, it's fine. Actually, it ain't gonna happen. We'll test the waters first, and if she don't like it, then we'll play off chance that she's at least indifferently hostile, or maybe actually likes you. Then we can give it a shot. But she's most commoners don't exactly get a chance to ever well,
Barely know how to ride.
yeah,
But I guess sure.
Alright, now I can help you with the riding, and my less than comforting comments aside, no, you're safe as long as I'm with you. So let's make introductions, shake hands.
And yeah, she
And,
she goes and she approaches it like quietly, like and slowly like reaching a hand out. She's like, there. I'm a friend. Please don't my hand off for whatever it is you guys do. And she like reaches out slowly, like clearly a little nervous, and in a strange turn of events, Tempest doesn't react negatively at all. In fact, she almost seems to she glares at Marilyn for like a split second. She almost flinches, but then she lowers her head a quarter of an inch and lets Marilyn stroke her mane. And as she does, Marilyn gets a big smile on her face, and she like looks back at you like, "Hey, look, I did it!" Like a little bit proud / perplexed about that fact that this is happening.
well, I'll be. Did you fuck?
Didn't you say that she typically doesn't like people at all?
Oh no, she's just a glorious asshole. But I guess she was in sort of a good mood this morning. So maybe that's it. Shit, maybe just I don't know something about you. That being said, I mean, she's pretty set in her opinions. So, you want to try and give her a ride?
And she turns back and she's like, would that be all right, girl?" And Tempest just kind of, and she looks back and she gives you a shrug and she's gonna go for it.
All All right. Now, you know, I'll stick close, just in case. It turns out to be
Shit.
some elaborate trap.
Haha! And she flips Marilyn off and impales her through the heart, and she dies.
Damn
But no,
it.
it takes a second for her to like get up on Tempest because she's not that good at riding. She's like never really done it before. Save just like riding regular horses that are very tame and even then barely at all. So it takes her a second. She's a little bit nervous, but yeah, no. Eventually, she gets on and after a little bit of tutelage, she's going like at a decent trot, not like sprinting around or anything, but after a few minutes of that, and she laughs a bit as she goes, her long hair kind of blowing gently through the breeze as she kind of trots out a bit. And yeah.
Yeah, so as it's doing, like as they're passing around, Jacob periodically makes meaningful eye contact with Tempest, like the just slightly suspicious, but also generally glad that this is going well.
Yeah, no, like Tempest is showing all of the makeshift signs of I like accept this person.
Oh shit. That that's other than me. Then that makes 3. Huh. Just saying. In there, Marilyn. You're in pretty good company. Other than myself, the only people I know who who don't get the biting treatment are are Flint and Vic.
She like blinks for a second as he like as she like hops off the unicorn, like almost tripping on the stirrup a little bit because she's like still rather new at this and brushing some hair out of her face. She like blinks for a second, like, oh, well then, only the one of the most notorious outlaws in Legala, and the daughter of one of the other most notorious people in Legala. What does that say about me? Actually, I think she says she probably chuckles a bit and like kind of shakes her head and says, "Well, what does that say about me?"
Well, given my knowing both those people rather well, it says good things.
She'll laugh and she'll nod her head again. Thanks a lot. That was a lot more fun and less stressful than I thought it would be.
Yeah, same here. That worked out.
So hey, thanks again. If you need anything.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, I'll keep it in mind. I ain't shit. We're gonna be on a boat for a fucking long while, so
Yeah, and well, if you or anyone else ends up getting, I don't know, seasick or something, Elliot's got all sorts of remedies that could help with that too. So, I mean, if that or anything else, or even if Tempest ain't that big of a fan of water travel, he might be able to do something for that too. I don't know. He's a smart kid.
that could come in handy. The ocean generally seems to make Tempest more irritable than she always is. So maybe that could work pretty well. That Elliot's is your fellow, right?
She nods with a smile.
Well,
Yeah, we've been together for well, almost a year now, actually. But we've known each other since we were young.
that's that's awful nice. Good thing to hold on to when you find it. Well, if he's ever so inclined, and you could, you could bring him around sometime and see if, I don't know, the whole Temp is not being a shitheel thing happens to him too.
Well, I suppose we'll have to see.
All right, that sounds good.
And she'll smile and she'll wave as she heads back to the camp.
And Jacob, as soon as she's out of sight, is going to like look over a Tempest list, and it was nice of you, girl. That being said, if this turns out to be some kind of long con shit, I swear to Aisling.
She like as you say that, she like looks you square in the face and then just like snorts in your face, like just a gout of warm horse breath right in your face.
I'm watching.
And she like whinnies to herself, rather pleased.
And Jacob would just like kind of probably wipe whatever horrible condescension was a result of that, and just look at her, asshole, and then he'll feed her a carrot.
I was gonna say, I'm like, if she doesn't get food after this, she's gonna nip at you when you turn away.
Yeah, no, I know how this fucking asshole.
And yes, she accepts your offering with the grace and dignity expected of a storm chase.
And yeah, Jacob will, he'll probably spend, hang out with her for until something requires his attention. Yeah.
And yeah, so was there anything else that people needed to do on the road before you got to Hess? Before everybody was at the port town? I think that's about it. And yeah, so after a few weeks of travel, and moving things, and you guys kind of intermittently begin to get to Hest and get everything sorted out and such. In the late midwinter of the in the late midwinter of the Zodian hinterlands, there's still snow kind of covering many of the buildings, though it's much of it hasn't snowed for the last couple of days, so a lot of like it's pretty clear, and most of it's just kind of like mush pushed off to the side of the road at this point. And yeah, you guys get to the bustling town of Hest. The massive lighthouse sitting up on the higher end of the cliff in the distance, as the sprawling this trade town is slowly beginning to thaw out for the spring that is to come in the new year. And as the I know as the various Zodian groups come out, and yeah, so as the Zodians get there, Hiei is going to be there to greet Orion and Cecil with the information, with what information he was able to find. And so as you guys get in towards the city limits, you see Hiei, because he wills you to himself to be seen, of course. And yeah, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Am I unmuted? I was muted in like 30 different places because stuff feeds through. Hey, it's good to see you.
He'll give the now customary formal bow.
Seats
Okay.
good. She offers a curtsy.
Glad to see that you arrived safely. You do notice the now freshly minted longbow strung across his back,
Hell yeah.
as well as a small cloth parcel.
She doesn't pay much attention to the parcel nor anything else, but she is looking over the bow a little bit, like, pleased. Clearly, the funds were well used, though she wouldn't be able to tell a poorly made bow to a well made bow. She's going to assume that you have a discerning eye, where she does not. And
I was unaware of the ensuing gift. My thanks. And he gives another bow.
Cecil blinks and offers another curtsy because that's what you do when someone bows. And no, it was the least I could do for all of your help now and in Okeanos and perhaps beyond. She looks over at Orion with a bit of an eye face. But
Although there is a matter of which I do need to make you aware of. As I'm sure, well, mayhaps not, but you see, in the valley, there is a saying that I tend to keep most dear to my heart, and he actually reaches back and he undoes the parcel from his back and he brings it forward. You see, a gift deserves a gift in kind, and he is going to undo the cloth, and it's a box. And he will hand it to you.
Sorry, Cecil looks to Hiei, and then to Orion, and then back at the box, and then handles it very, very gingerly, in the sense of, like, you didn't have to do that. Should I take it? Yes, I should take it. That's what you do with the gift, and so then she takes it. And, but, Hiei, you did not have to do rude. You really didn't have to do anything of the sort. And she ducks her head, but she holds the box, like, may I open it?
Please do. I noticed while we were discussing things in Zodia, your small hobby. And as you open the box, it is a Fenrongi's sewing kit.
Ooh, look at that. She,
I figured you might have something to do whilst we're on our journey, at the very least. Something to take your mind off of things, perhaps.
and she, Jesus Christ, Rick, you're killing me. She, her smile softens, and but she again, her smile softens, and she gently, she looks through it for a moment, but she doesn't tarry with it, as there's many things to be done. But while I stand by the fact that that I needed no such thing in return, I'll be sure to use it on the ship. I have a feeling we'll have a fair amount of downtime, and thank you. Thank you, Hiei. And she inclines her head deeply in legitimate gratitude and smiles ever so slightly up at him because we're both itty bitty people.
That we are.
Yeah.
And he has a warm smile on his face, but after a moment, he does turn to Orion, who I'm assuming has just sort of been
Yeah,
standing
he's
there.
like standing about talking to a couple people as they go in. Like,
And he motions back to Cecil. If you would excuse me for a moment.
And yeah.
And he would approach Orion, just sort of casually waiting for him to finish his
yeah,
conversation.
he turns to you. Hey, what can I help you with?
My lord, glad to see that everybody has arrived safely. Accommodations are waiting, and the sailors for whenever we would like to depart.
Excellent. Yes, I know there will be a couple of things that need to be done before we leave, but I look forward to it. Thank you for gathering what information you did. I'm certain that it will come most vital to what comes next.
It was my pleasure. And should you have need of anything else, I'll be around.
Excellent.
He sort of
Thank you
chuckles
very
to
much.
himself. And
And
he'll give a very polite bow and go about his business.
all right, just a second. Okay, cool. All right. And yeah, you guys, as you guys make your way in, the groups would have probably convened within the city, so people would be able to catch each other and such before anything gets up. And as you guys get to the edge of the bay, and such as you guys are kind of gathering your things, and you guys would be more than pick up anything that you needed within the port as you go. Anybody who would be kind of in and around Varro looks like he has something on his mind, especially as you guys get to the edge of the water as you're making your way about, and he's kind of glancing about, just walking as he goes, and he speaking to Sinclair, he says, "Hey, with the amount of ice that still be freezing up this waters, I've got a bad feeling that we might be stuck waiting in this port for longer than what we'd look at." And Sinclair, kind of answering back, says, "Yeah, I was wondering about that myself. These Zodians were talking about leaving a lot earlier than what I thought they'd be able to." And the two of them share a look for a second. And Varro says, "You don't think they've got some trick up their sleeve for thawing this straight out earlier than it would be naturally, do you?" And Sinclair just kind of flicks his cigarette to the side, and he just shrugs and grounds it into the stone beneath him and says, "Honestly, Captain, at this fucking point, we've seen one person eat a book. We've heard about kings and queens rising from the dead, and a hawklog who's what and became a human. At this point, I don't think I'd be very surprised if they had some sort of trick up the sleeve. But I guess we'll just have to see about that." And speaking of which, the ones who are going with the Zodians, the ones who are going with the Zodians, so Misty, Cecil, Foe, Hoden, Penelope, and Hiei. You guys, as you guys come in, to the docks, the actual the Royal the Defense Force naval docks. You guys see a lot of business. There's a lot of soldiers already here, getting their ships and such prepared. They are loading up supplies onto a number of various size ships as you go. As you're heading your way out, you see a number of smaller ships, which smaller vessels that you would see oftentimes escorting larger vessels and such. Each one of them could have about 60 to 75 men each. You see a smaller amount of other Zodian frigates, which actually look a lot like Varro's ship, because Varro's ship used to be a Zodian frigate before it was captured. And you also see a couple of even larger ships, whereas the frigates can usually have a crew of about 150 men. These larger galleys, which there's about 3 of them being loaded up, easily can hold up to about 1,000 men each. So these larger warships are also being prepared as they go. But as you guys also notice, the ice flows are still pretty thick. Some only in small patches here and there has the ice begun to really thaw in the river, and chances are it would take some time to actually get that to go away. And as you guys are kind of going, Orion is speaking to Adigo, and he like looking concerned. He says, "This is quite the wonderful operation we have going, Admiral. But how precisely are we planning on shoving off before the ice thaws?" And Admiral Bianca usually keeps her hand well hidden. She keeps herself kind of internalized, but she gets a grin on her face. And Orion kind of like he as you guys will see his pace kind of slow a little bit. "Is there something I should know about, Admiral?" And she turns and says, "Something that you should know indeed, Your Majesty." And as you guys turn the corner on around one of the buildings, you see that the water's edge kind of ends abruptly. And kind of oddly, it almost looks like the as if a wall was kind of constructed up against the as like these massive kind of dry docks and such are kind of in and about. You kind of get into this you see this dry dock area where it seems like there's a large section kind of built right over the water, and it almost seems like it's this flat wall over this dry dock. Until you take a closer look at the bigger picture of all of this. And as you guys take a closer look, that's not a wall. As you look up, you guys see a massive vessel, easily 6-7 times larger than some of the other largest vessels that you've seen coming in on here. Easily dwarfing the larger galleys and frigates, and even the galleys. You see a massive ship, easily 1,000 feet long, and almost about more than half again as wide, and churning. churning, ready for action, lining the sides. You see 3 massive wheels, kind of like water wheels, like paddle wheel water wheels that are lining each of the sides of this massive vessel. Over 3 dozen sails dot this massive ship, which hangs just a couple of feet above the water's edge. And the ship itself easily goes up at least 100 to 100 feet from the very bottom that would be underneath the ship to the top of the deck. Easily goes up 100 to 150 to 200 feet. And Bianca turns and she says, "Your Majesty, allow me to present the Atlas, our flagship for this sojourn across the seas." And Orion just kind of stares at it. At its front, whereas many ships are primarily made, or are almost entirely made of wood, you see a large amount of steel reinforcements on the ship, including most of the front of the ship, which seems to be made of a very thick steel. But it almost seems to be segmented away from the rest of it, and it definitely seems as if it could carve a path through the ice if this thing got going enough. That is absolutely what Bianca's wearing underneath her uniform right now, like, basically. And she turns to all of you and she says, "Shall we take a tour?" And so you guys are brought into the it's a rather complex process of getting onto this ship, as it involves a series of ramps and ladders, or the ability to fly. And as you guys get onto this ship, effectively what we're dealing with here is a medieval aircraft carrier. There are, as you guys go through this massive super complex, Bianca tells you about some of the things that this vessel is capable of doing, namely holding roughly 5,000 personnel, including between 150 and 200 wyverns. There's an abundance of kind of almost mimicking the craftsmanship of the Auriga caverns. There are kind of pseudo caverns kind of built into the side of this, from which the wyverns could be sorted if they needed to. But as you guys go through, first off, you guys would see many of the accommodations that you'll be in, largely crutch, but as you go in, it definitely seems almost like a fully functioning micro city. There are a number of different mess halls, including hearths and stoves from which to bake and make food. There's a smithy. There's even a barber who's going to be on call during this, because it's going to be a minute. And yeah, so as you guys take the grand tour of this multi-leveled massive vessel, all of you guys will in fact be on this vessel, by the way. All of the PCs going with Zodia. But yeah, it's really big. And one of the major hitches that they currently have is they don't have it at the lower decks yet. And meanwhile, by the way, Chance, at some point, throughout your time being in Hest, Chance, panic approached by an individual, summoning him for a brief meeting at the Zodian barracks
Oh,
or the
boy.
shipwrights.
Who is it?
And when you get there, General Paris Origa is waiting for you.
Oh, all right. Neat.
And he smiles and he says, "Mr. Panic, 'tis a pleasure to see you again.
Ah, feelings mutual, my dude.
I have a
See,
bit of
you
a..."
have been promoted, got new duds.
He looks down at his outfit and he nods. "Yes, I suppose so. But we aren't here to talk about me, my friend.
Ah,
I have a proposition for you."
interesting. And, well, let's hear it. What can I do for you?
As I understand it, you originally hail from Lagola, yes?
That is correct.
Then you have a greater understanding of magic than many. Is that correct?
That is also true.
I've heard stories from my cousin and many others who have traveled so far that some of the more affluent Lagolans light their manors and streets with special conjured flames that produce no heat and provide no danger but produce light all the same. Is this correct?
Eric, is that correct? I don't know.
Yes,
Out
it
of
is.
character. Yep, that is also correct.
So, being a mage born in Lagola, would you perhaps know how to create such a thing?
I do, in fact.
Excellent.
Happy to help.
Because let's just say that there are a couple hundred lights that need to be lit, and I do believe that having a less flammable option may be a wise option.
I would concur. That would probably be a bad idea on a ship made of wood.
Especially one of this size.
Yes.
You'll see in a moment. That said, there's also the matter of your payment.
Well, I'm sure whatever you think is best would be fine.
Well, as it turns out, I happen to have just the thing.
Go on.
And he extracts a small parchment from his coat, and he hands it to you.
I will open it and read upon this piece of parchment.
It's effectively the documents that pertain to any amount of bounty and desire for your arrest and incarceration.
And yeah, Chance sees that and makes an audible gulp as he looks at it.
As far as I'm concerned, you can do with those what you wish. For providing such a boon to Zodia.
Really? Well, in that instance, Chance is going to just kind of snap his fingers and just in a puff of smoke, just completely incinerate them.
He smiles. I'm glad that we could come to such an arrangement.
General, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Now you can just point me at all of those things you need lit, and I would be more than happy to do you a service.
Right this way. And he'll lead you, and of course then you'll of course see this massive vessel, and you're not the only one who's been press ganged into helping, by the way. Marilyn, the mage from the Mercer Brigade that was earlier talking to Jacob, she's definitely also been commissioned to help with this because she's also a mage from Legala who knows how to do this.
Neat.
So yeah, you guys kind of flit around this massive ship, lighting these lanterns with unending flames, and yeah, and you're effectively going to be a free man for doing that. There's a fuckload though. It's exhausting. There's so many lights. Right when you think that you've got like the last ones, you discover an entire another floor of this massive vessel that has like another 36.
My God, I love it.
It's pretty hilarious.
Hey, I got something to fill my time with on this month-long expedition.
Yeah, like you'll very very easily be able to take care of that throughout the course of everything. And you also probably were at some point you were probably you and Marilyn were probably asked to teach some of the other mages within the Zodian Defense Force. There's not many, but you probably also got to instruct a number of individuals in how to do that. I know there's a couple that are a member of the Wing Guard. So you and probably technically Misty, you can do it too. So you probably got to teach Misty and a couple of the others so that they can make sure that if these things go out, they can keep them going.
Sweet. Actually, could I roll some kind of like lore or magic check to somehow like innovate and build upon this like magical lighting problem?
Yeah.
So as they don't go out?
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and make a or I can make it for you if you're not on.
Yeah, I'm not logged in.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll do a knowledge lore check to see if we can do something gifted. So you have that. Cool. Okay. You got 2 successes and a threat, so you will be able to make it so that they are very much very likely not going to go out unless they're knocked over or something like that.
Perfect.
So mostly it's as an emergency, or if they find out that they need some more, like that they didn't already have prepared. But yeah, they're for the most part you're pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I'm useful.
And yeah, so so yeah, over the next couple of days, the preparations will be made for the ship and all that. So if there's anything that you guys need to do before you depart on the ship, now is the time to do it while we're here. And I imagine word travels through the party members about this vessel, and the fact that it's that Admiral Bianca seems to be rather confident that it will be able to handle the ice flows. And yeah, it's not super hard to see it. It is kind of out in the restricted areas. That said, it's large enough where if you go there and you're looking for it, you can pretty much find it. And yeah. By the way, rumor also spreads along with this. The Atlas is you guys would also learn that this is definitely the Atlas's maiden voyage, and it is definitely a prototype vessel called a dreadnought. And technically speaking, most of the people who have actually made this vessel, it is made very much on theory. And there's a lot of the shipwrights are very much hoping that this is going to work. But Admiral Bianca seems rather confident that it will be fine. But some of the architects that have made this boat are like, I sure hope this works. But yeah, it's fucking huge. But yeah, so generally speaking, the main idea is hoping that the Atlas can break through the ice flows, and then the rest of the fleet will travel with it. You guys also would have gotten a more accurate representation of the number of people who are going to be going. The fleet that's going it's definitely not the entirety of the Zodian fleet, but it's a good small chunk of it. In addition to the Atlas dreadnought, 3 roughly 1,000 capacity galleys are going. In addition to 9 frigates with the size of like Vara's pirate ship, And beyond that, 18 escort corvette vessels, which are between 50 and 75 people each. So you guys are going to have roughly 10,000 people going. Plus, obviously, a number of non-combatants, but mostly most of those 10,000 people are Defense Force individuals. So, yeah, that's what you have going for you. Zodia doesn't do things in half measures. But yeah, so yeah, is there anything that anybody needs to do in the city or in Hess before we start departing?
David, you want to do that thing?
Oh my god, am I actually gonna buy you a fucking cattle?
No! I was
Oh,
talking about...
oh, Tris. Okay.
You asked me if I want fucking cows.
Ooh!
All right, eat up.
Milk.
Jesus Christ.
Let's inspect Tristan's arm before we get on a boat and things start rocking.
Yeah.
Don't rock
might
the
as well.
boat, baby.
So we're gonna approach Tristan.
This is gonna be mostly you, man. I'm just in the
Well,
back.
what you're gonna watch as I approach Tristan
Yeah.
in his natural habitat.
And so yeah, as you guys are preparing, Tristan is in the weeks that have gone by, that you remember that church of Ashling that was here, that was totally a secret underground slaving ring, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the last months, the thing has been kind of cleared out a lot, and it's currently not manned. But it's the operation has been shut down. But Tristan would have informed you that he was going there to do some meditations.
All right.
You know it's a really bad idea for me to go to a church of Ashling, right?
There's like it's basically a ghost town, or like a ghost church. Like nobody's really there.
Pretty
Nobody
sure it's
likes
just
her.
Tristan Outro.
Okay.
Actually, no. As she walks in, the statues like turn to her and recognize her as the true deity.
Oh shit.
I'm just kidding. That's not even close to what happens.
That's what I go to, Lagala.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's once you get there. No, so yeah, you the two of you are the two of you guys going alone?
I
I'm
don't see
also
why not.
in I'm not being Austro in the city at all.
Yeah. And so yeah, you guys go and quietly make your way, and you open up the door, and oh
I hope I'm not interrupting.
and he's knelt down by one of the abandoned pews, and he shakes his head. You're I'm not one to claim such a thing when my commander comes calling. Is there something I can help you with, Davy?
Well,
His left arm is it hangs limply by him.
he just gives a sad
Still
smile at that. Actually, there's something I've been wanting to ask you. At least if you're willing to cooperate in regards to your arm.
And he'll stop and he'll stand up and turn towards you.
I was wondering, I can have someone inspect that, and by that someone, I mean,
And he looks over at the other woman and Maria.
Good afternoon, Tristan. Alistair looks back to Davian.
I'm not gonna cooperate with this. This is your decision, but when we get to Legala, we're gonna need our strength. We need, or at least I think you need to be at your best if we are to help as many people as we can.
I understand, Davian. By Ashling, I promise to do that. But you understand that you're asking me to trust, place my trust in someone who has taken everything that I've believed, everything that I've grown to believe to be true, and turned it up on its head in a matter of months.
Yeah, I guess so. But well, when you put it that way, yeah. Wow. But I don't want you to see this as trusting her. I'm asking you, not as a commander, but as a friend, to at least trust me.
Go ahead and make a leadership check.
All
It's going to
right.
be against 3 difficulty.
Okay.
Add 1 setback dice,
Okay.
2 setback dice, and 1 boost dice.
Except that's when it dice. And then I'll suffer a strain. Hope I upgraded that twice. No, actually, I'll keep that because I'm going to use the light side. And I have command, so that's a boost dice. All right, here we go. Nice.
Huh. Very well. At the very least, it would be wise to have it examined by one who greater grasp of magic than myself. After all, if that foul creature that did this to me, we know not if this curse would end at my arm or eventually grow across the entirety of my body.
Kind of wince at that. Thank you, Tristan. He looks towards Elstro and nods.
Alright, I'm gonna inspect the thing. What check?
Go ahead and make a. First off, make a knowledge lore check. Just to see if you can't notice anything else that might help.
Okay. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 3. Well, with that, as you kind of take a closer look and cross-reference it with what you do know of magic, it does actually seem like if you aren't careful, or if nothing is done, that the stone that has now become his arm would actually continue to spread. It would take a long time, but as you take a look at it, it does seem as if the magical enchantments within it are not dormant. And it could be months, years, it could be even decades, but his body would eventually completely petrify.
I relay that information. Gently. As gently as I can.
Well, I suppose it is. I suppose there's wisdom in trusting those whom have earned your trust, he says, looking over to Davian. Very well, Alstromeria. Beyond anything else, I would ask that you help. If it is not too much of a trouble, if it is not too much of a burden.
I think I'm actually going to try and use the Sapphire Stone for this.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Like, instead of, because it's magic latent in it, and stack the magic in it with.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good deal, actually. So go ahead and make a check. Let me pull up the spell thing. So effectively, you're going to dispel. Dispel. So make a check against 3 difficulty, but go ahead and upgrade it twice. Once for a story point, once because of the adversary of the creature that inflicted.
Is it possible to lower the difficulty with the light set?
Yeah, if you like.
Alright. Use it, and then I will use my one ability to take it back.
Okay, I need to discard.
And then I don't suppose that can help with like leadership checks or
No.
okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much you can do to help when it comes to magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, it should be 1 red and 2 purple. So if you hit the red minus symbol, it'll turn one of them into purple, and then you can add 1 more purple or 2 more.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, as you continue to as you kind of closing your eyes, you hold out and holding the stone in your hand. You hold your hand out towards the edge of his shoulder where the stone meets the flesh, and and you can sense the magics almost shoot as like a pale blue glow wraps around your hand. It kind of glows as it almost you almost see like uh, lines of magic kind of coursing their way through the arm, and you can sense as the magic within it is sealed, and the curse ended. His arm is still made of stone, but it is no longer growing.
Well, it's unlikely I can turn something that's stone into not stone.
You may be able to, but it would be very hard. Effectively, you could keep trying to do it, but it would require nothing short of a miraculous roll.
What would the difficulty be?
The difficulty would be against baseline 3 red. And success does not necessarily mean that the arm is no longer stone.
Okay. What if we had multiple mages help?
This is unfortunately something that's probably only actually possible because of the magics that she wields.
Okay.
But if you succeed, good things might happen still.
I'm sorry, Tristan. I think that's as much as I can do.
He nods. I would not ask you to put yourself on the way, trying to do something that may jeopardize yourself. You've already done much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to treat you.
He looks at you hard for a moment. Tell me,
What?
Alstramaria, what do you plan to do once we return to the Gala with the information that you've seen? Be they truth or lies.
I don't know. I suppose the double-edged sword of being a known liar is that even if you are telling the truth, people are unlikely to believe you. But if people are willing to listen an ear, lend an ear, suppose I'll tell them what I know.
And what do you believe?
I believe what I've seen. I believe that what people of Legala have been taught their lives is a twisting of a story, which ultimately at the end is the same story, just told in a way to make certain people seem better and others worse.
I see. Thank you for sharing.
Are you against that idea?
I do not know. It is, as you said, a double-edged sword. Faith is a powerful tool. One that, when used, can be done for weal or for woe. It can grant solace to those who need it in their darkest times. So too can it be used as a weapon and a justification.
Indeed. Though I suppose what it comes down to is, should the people be comforted by the lie? Should it be a lie?
There's danger in truth. In knowledge. But ultimately, it is up to the individual to make what they will of it. A struggle that I am still undergoing myself.
I suppose in the end, everyone decides what their own truth is. Well, if you're still praying, I'll let you be. And she bows and heads off.
Can I have you make... Or no, never mind. You don't need to make a check.
What is that check for?
I was thinking if I him to make a, or needed you to make a check to see how he was feeling, but no. I don't think so.
He's feeling conflicted.
He is feeling conflicted.
Wow. 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 Fucking amazing.
Commander,
Yes.
I know that you've never been an exceptionally pious man. And given what Miss Loxley has discovered, what I'm doing here may be most futile. Praying to a being that would never hear, would never answer.
Still, it doesn't hurt to have something to lean towards, whether it be a deity that doesn't exist. The small things to keep your mind off the troubles. There are things I do agree with in terms of Ashlyn, in terms of helping others. It's just rather people tend to use religion as a tool. Yes, be it good or bad, but lately I've been feeling as though a lot of Legala's problems have been because of the people using her as a means to manipulate people. How, I guess, when I was a kid, when my mother was found out to be a mage, married to a commoner, they used the word of Ashling as a means to show people that what she did is wrong. That's why I've been so hesitant to rely on a god. But it has its. I mean, you, for one, are a great example of a man who uses religion as a tool for good, as a means to give people hope. Like, Allah needs more people like you to show them it's all right to put your faith. If any of this makes sense. He scratches the back of his head.
Your words are full of kindness and wisdom, Pavian. Thank you.
Well, I have a lot of you to thank for that. I'll let you continue. But
Perhaps if I
that's an arm.
perhaps if I do so long enough.
Well, we are going to be on a boat for quite a while. You have plenty of time to think. But before I go, I want to thank you for trusting me. You have no idea how much that means to me.
You've more than earned it. Logala, too, could benefit from more men of your caliber. Good evening, Command. I'll speak with you again soon.
Of course. And he gives a bow and walks off.
Tristan will slowly turn back towards the abandoned shrine and portrayals of Ashling. He'll sigh and do his prayers. For what great or little they will do. And yeah,
that was good.
that was good. So so is there anything else that people need to take care of in the city here before you guys hit the water?
Like we can buy gear retroactive, right? We don't
Yeah,
have to do that.
totally.
Okay, yeah. That's it. I'm gonna buy tomes and gear. Can
Yeah,
I
like
buy
it's,
tomes here?
yeah, absolutely.
Neat. I'll do that later.
It might be a little bit harder here than in Okeanos, and then harder in Okeanos than in Legala. But
Mhm.
yes, it is more than possible because they have a lot of shit here. Effectively, we could throughout for buying stuff, we can like roll checks to see if you guys could find the things that you're looking for.
Sick.
Because this is a port town, so they have shit from all over the place. Like they even have
Neato.
Fenrir items here. So
Second biggest city in Zodia.
yup. Yeah, technically it's actually bigger than Ascension, like mileage wise, but it's not quite as dense because it doesn't have to be.
Mm.
Like
yeah.
you don't have to put it on top of a mountain. There's more room for stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's like there's a lot of ports and shit. So
Also, I don't know if we're I don't. Oh, sorry. I don't know if my brain just oozed out of my ear in that one moment. Like the whole
Saw
thing
that.
just. But I'm assuming, are we either going to do goodbyes or say that we say goodbyes? Because that's something that I figure I would.
yeah, good
mention.
like before goodbyes, but goodbyes will be
Okay.
like the last.
Yeah, because
thing.
I was like, I'd like to say bye to Neely and Lyra, but you know,
Yeah.
there's da 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 da.
Did Kai want to do anything? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to talk to.
Talk to who? Sorry,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Yeah, now
but
we can.
it cut out. The name cut out.
Davian and Misty.
Together or separate?
I can take care of both at the same time.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of places that you'd be able to meet, and you guys have a couple of days as people are getting their shit together.
Well, honestly, I figure it could be either one. I'm gonna let you two choose how you want to take this: a training session or a walk around town.
Well, I mean, Misty and David, it's probably safe to say you can find them together at some point.
Mm-hmm. But like honestly, like the setting itself, I'm letting you guys choose that. If you would rather it be like a training session with foe, or a just walk around town as they talk.
Yeah, just a walk around town sounds nice.
Yeah. Like, walk around town's fine.
All right. So, but
So you guys will be able to gather at some point. That's more than possible. Like it's a big city, so
all right. Usually there's like some form of scene setting. So should we just like jump straight into
yeah.
this?
I mean, you guys like. I imagine if you want, like you get them all together, and you guys would make your way through the various districts. There's like the market is is a good place to walk around. There's a lot of shops and stores. So
All right. Well, foe walks into wherever they're at, and I guess approaches them.
Foe. Didn't see.
Hello, Davian. Is Misty close by or anything?
they're probably together, honestly.
Or just,
Was that,
oh, the hand love, Misty just appears around a corner.
I was just showing her this necklace I'm intending to give to Piper eventually.
Ah, nice.
It's quite pretty.
I think she'll like.
He makes eye contact with both, and at this point he just kind of asks, can we take a walk for a moment?
I feel like there's that mutual just like exchange of glances between Davy and just like, all right, well, this is gonna be a talk.
All right.
Sure thing, love.
So I guess he gets them outside and starts walking, and he doesn't look so much sad or anything as much as just kind of like confused and a little off, I guess.
Is something on your mind, love?
Well, I just. How many days would you say this is after, like, Intarsia and Foes talk and all that stuff?
Oh, like
Yeah,
when she left? It's been a minute. It's yeah, like it's been probably almost a month since then. Like
okay.
yeah, it's been a little bit.
That's fine. So I am in need of you guys' help.
Yeah, it's been pretty close to a month.
In what in particular?
Well, it's nothing that's particularly happened yet, but things that are going to happen. My sister's for the past month. It's just been me. My sister has gone back home and she's placed. I don't even know what the job title is called. She just gave me this big responsibility and says that I'm now some. What was that thing she was? Like he's actually stumbling over his words. Like what is that thing that they called her when she came to the city?
An ambassador?
That she apparently and now she wants to take her place. It's a little late for me to say that she wants to because I've already accepted it and I have honestly no idea what to do.
I see. Well, as far as I've seen of Intarsia, I think all she's done is observe Cecil.
And she was saying something about finally doing what I've always wanted to do, but I don't understand how protecting Cecil will do any of that.
Well, functionally, love, ambassadors served as sort of a go-between between two different countries, or in this case, the Lagos and Zodiac, I imagine.
What experience do I have with that?
Well, you've spent a lot of time with Zodians, or rather, people outside the Confederacy, have you not?
Yeah, but I'm also an outcast from my own village of sorts. Not exactly on good terms with half.
But you understand those that aren't Lagos and Tagua better than most in the Confederacy, do you not?
I guess.
This is your opportunity to put that to use.
You do realize this isn't just some dip in the water. This is wanted to do this, but I haven't even taken the steps to even doing something like this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Sometimes the best way to learn things is just jump into the deep end and go swimming. Learn through experience. You'll stumble a little bit, but you come out a better swimmer in the long run.
I can't really be a better.
You cut it out there.
Uh, Fo, he said, can't really be a better swimmer afterwards if you lose both your legs, now can you?
That's when you just get stronger arms. She
I-
winks.
Oh my god. Look, if she placed this responsibility, then it's clear that she trusts you and that she sees what you don't. You have the potential of being a great ambassador. You are now a representative of the Confederate, and all you have to do is observe, explain to your king, Tarsia, and her future king, the situation, as well as just keep an eye on Cecil. Make sure she's not, which I honestly doubt. And just keep her safe.
And just communicate back to your people.
Alright.
You're basically the line of communication.
Alright.
And besides, there's many people around you that have more experience in diplomacy. They'll be more than willing to help if you need it.
Like whom?
Cecil, for one person. That person you're going to be spending quite a bit of time with.
But she seems so scared.
I mean, she's always like that.
Right. I mean, they're pretty clear.
But I'm sure once she gets to know you, I guess she'll be less scared. She'll be more than willing to help you become a better ambassador.
Yeah.
Alright.
He is also technically an ambassador, which you've spent some time with.
I can't. Actually, he kind of puts up his hand, kind of like, now hold it right there. Me and he are from the same space, but he kind of only pops up when he wants to. And when he wants to has been for a long time not around me.
Well, I'm sure we can arrange something. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll just show up right now. I just look around, hoping.
I imagine everybody looks around like wondering. If you and Hoden straight up wanted to be walking around because you guys were getting to know each other at this exact moment, absolutely go for it.
I mean, I'm game.
Do it.
So then I took out my arrow, right, and I tried to string it onto the bow, and then I'm not really sure because it's weighted a bit different than my daggers. I'm not quite sure how much of a distance difference is going to be.
And like as they're coming around, like Bo looks at Davian and Misty and kind of points at them like, "Do you see what I mean?"
Oh, right on cue there, Hoden.
Hey, look at that.
Oh,
I was
hey,
right.
hey guys.
Greetings.
What brings you all out here?
Well, actually, we have something to ask Hiei.
Oh?
He wants to become a better ambassador.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so ambitious. Why didn't you speak up earlier?
You're never around.
I'm always around. What are you talking about?
Well,
This
you're
is
never
little-
visible.
Huh?
You're never visible. We'll just say that.
This is
He sort
Sorry,
of
that
rubs
was
the back
that
of
was
his
the
head.
EA. Sorry, yeah.
He sort of rubs the back of his head. Yeah, I suppose I can't really help that.
Foe
My
literally
apologies.
kind of has kind of like a not a disgusted face, but kind of like a strained face. Like this is like the first time I've actually had a conversation with you.
He gets kind of like a pensive face. He's like, "Spirits, you're right." And then he has like this moment of realization. He's like, and he falls into like a deep 90-degree bow. I am terribly sorry. That is incredibly inconsiderate.
What's it called? Now, like Foe kind of has like a grimacing look, and he's like, "That get up. It's fine." But you are an ambassador, correct?
In a sense, I suppose. Though the title in and of itself is sort of more or less foisted upon me. Not really what I set out to be, but here we are.
No, it makes two of us, I guess. How? I guess my question is, Hiei, how do you do a bad job at what you do?
How do I what? Sorry, you cut out.
How do you know if you're not doing a good job being an ambassador?
And he sort of crosses his arms slightly and sort of puts his hand up and not really pokes his cheek, but like just sort of thinks for a moment. It's sort of a think of it like a dance, right? So long as you're not stepping on anybody's toes and everybody's enjoying themselves, then you're doing a good job. Although I would imagine things are somewhat different for shifters. My apologies, my knowledge of your cultures is relatively none, I suppose.
He what's it called? Foe puts up his hand and I don't. You don't really have that to worry about with me. I can't.
Yeah, Hodin shrugs as well. I am more familiar with the less good, frivolous, or more unsavory parts of that culture. So, you're
I
not
suppose we're
offending
all on
me?
the same page then.
Seems that way.
Okay, all of that just cut out for me just a second ago. What
Oh,
happened?
shit. I was just. Hodin says he's more familiar with the unsavory aspect of his culture, so, you're not offended me either.
You can always also ask questions whenever you need to, Phil. I'm sure several people will tell you whether or not you're doing a good job and how you can improve it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm relying on too, so no shame in it.
Yeah, you don't have to do things alone.
Yeah. I guess I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I need to do from.
Start
guess.
small. Ask Cecil what Intarsia did when around her. I'm sure she'll be more than willing to tell you.
I think she will tell you out of fear. But
Sorry. They are correct, though, Foe. The first step is always the hardest.
He sighs and just nods his head. All right. I guess I guess that's what I need to do. He definitely doesn't sound too sure. He definitely doesn't sound very sure of him. Actually,
Phil, I have a word of advice for you. Something I follow quite closely, actually. Fake it till you make it.
mm,
come on, where's that confident attitude you had before when it comes to fighting?
This is just another kind of fight.
Just incredibly more convoluted and, albeit not as intense. Well, depending on the company, I suppose.
yeah, talking isn't really one of my strong.
Well, that's what training is for.
Let's see
Practice
how
your
this
talking.
goes.
I have full faith you'll succeed, Phil.
If you ever feel like practicing, be sure to find me because I'm sure as hell's gonna need it as well. So might as well fail together, eh? And he kind of like pats him on the back, the bro hug way.
We have scholars who can teach you how to speak properly.
Spirits willing, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time on this journey.
That we will.
We are going to be functionally on a floating city for about 3 months.
It is fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, are we sure that thing actually moves? It's giant.
Honestly, I thought Legala was excessive, but this.
I'm incredibly proud of my country personally.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I guess it's my country too now, so yeah. Go us.
Misty fist bumps Hodin.
He returns it.
Davian just rolls his eyes as he smiles.
So he sort of looks down at his own hand and clenches a fist, like, what is this?
Misty
Foe's
holds out her
kinda just-
fist to Hiei too.
Foe's just kind of looking around at it.
Here you go for like an awkward handshake, like, I don't,
Then Hiei, curl your fist, bump the fist.
I don't think fit in the 16, 17, 1800s.
Now they do.
Well,
they do now.
well, they do now.
Fantasy.
It's an ancient Laguz and Togwell tradition. No, just kidding. It was actually a Manakee tradition. She sensed it when she ate the wyvern. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true at all.
Well,
Oh man, could you imagine wyvern fist bumps? They're just
Oh,
wings. How would that work?
And yeah,
all right. That was a talk.
and yeah, I imagine. Well, since you guys are all together,
Oh,
just
oh,
like
no.
go and get dinner.
right, like shit.
That reminds
Agreed.
me, since I have all of you here, I've been here for a hot second. Let me show you this one great sushi place that I found.
Never had sushi.
There
Like,
totally are like
Sushi.
actually like attempts at like foreign cuisine here. Like they have those. They're
Eric?
attempts. They're not perfect, but they're attempts.
I
I
have
feel
a very
like-
important question for you.
Yes.
Are there any Fenrong chefs around? Because
No,
we need
but
to treat
there-
these people.
There are chefs that claim to be people who receive training from Fenrogese chefs.
Not good enough.
It's
Never
like an
mind.
open grill where people like throw food at you, like in the some of the like the sushi places.
Probably not here. no.
their own food. But that was a disaster of dinner.
Not
Nope.
good enough for Hiei's
Food being
palate.
thrown everywhere.
Nope.
Look, look, David, there was no reason.
He's such a foodie.
He is a
Like,
foodie.
when you said
Absolutely.
throw food. I wasn't expecting them to actually throw the food.
Misty's taking a to-go bag to bring back to Ven.
Oh man. I should...
Honestly, it does want to be like a whole Cecil and Penelope type of thing, like making Bo better at speaking. Like I would not mind.
Yeah, there you go. Speech with the Penelope and the Sicily.
Yes.
That sounds like a
But-
forum interaction.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, see, I want to do a full interaction. That's
Freaks.
not- Honestly, I think I might make it an open interaction
Oh man.
instead of making that.
Oh man, maybe I can show up.
Not that open. Not that open.
Connor, what are you doing?
But
What is this, a
I
crossover episode?
actually got to head out, so there's
Okay.
else I
See
need
ya.
to-
See you, Kate.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye, Kite. See ya.
All right.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
I
Like,
didn't get to talk to Piper or Sophia. Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up like at the same food place. Like, hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, must be the money.
It's like everywhere we go, we make one business like just booming. with
Right?
money
We just
First
all
of-
buy everything from one person.
from one place.
Hey. So we'll take a quick 5-minute break because I have to go to the restroom real quick, and then we'll probably move towards the Oh yeah, you guys could totally do that, like in the background.
A long time.
They also have
With
karaoke
the
nights.
shotgun.
They also
I
have
love
karaoke nights.
Deer paddle.
Karaoke.
Oh man, do they have Fenrongu K-pop?
Do we look like we have
Probably.
that?
All right, guess we did it.
Wow, wow, wow. I've been really trying.
Some fireplace and chill, you know.
Which, by the way, if anybody
Yeah.
happen on this ship, for whatever reason, happens to have never seen a boob before, Orion, that's going to change because
Oh
if you
my.
remember, everyone is always having sex on these fucking boats. So he's just gonna walk in on somebody having sex, and that
What
will be
if
the
it's
first time that he sees
subordinates?
the boob ever.
Oh my
Neat.
god.
Oh no!
I
we saw
told
the
you.
tits.
I told you. I'm waiting for it to be Penelope in Paris.
That would be fucking
And
hilarious.
then he's across the ship. People just hear Orion apologizing profusely as he just shields his eyes and runs out the door.
And then Penelope can make him a cake that says "Congratulations on your first boob."
Congrats on the sex.
Childhood friends just fuck each other.
Well, there's nothing else to do except for our regular duties, so let's cram into the broom closet and have sex.
Duty.
I'll show you my duty.
Oh my.
No.
my. Well,
Where's that fucking image?
all the fucking lately.
Listen, you gotta get exercise on that boat somehow. There it is. Congrats
That's
on the
fair.
sex.
Well, I mean, they're
Congrats
still
on the-
drilling
I
and
love
everything
that.
else.
I mean, I might have the excuse of being in a rut. I mean, I don't know what you guys are.
All right. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and do any of the farewells that need to happen. Keep in mind that you guys are going to end up running into each other again at the thing. So. Or at Okeanos, so like it's not the last goodbye to Lyra or anything yet, so don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have few words.
And so
A few or just few?
Few.
and so is there anything in particular that people want to do before we get going?
Besides Paris? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, you guys are on the same ship, so like you get to see him literally all the time. Like, there's gonna be less chances for you to not see him for the next couple of months than like typical, because you're sharing a very small compared to the world space, but also it's really big. So,
Mhm. Let's see. So who's going to Zodia? There's.
See you later, Davian.
yeah, like see you in a few months. Like it's gonna be great. Like
Yeah, I mean, we'll see each other. Though we still need to work on the, that double date.
Okeanos is the place for that.
Of course. I expect you to show us the best places to have fun.
And Misty just smirks because she knows all the best places to have fun in that town.
Well, good. Wow.
and yeah, I know that Alstro, you want to do? We could do that real quick if you want, actually.
Sure.
And so, Alstro, you'd be able to find Orion like a day or two before the Atlas is leaving, and yeah, he'll smile as the two of you catch up at some point. Alstro Maria?
Orion. King Orion, rather. And she bows.
Oh, please, don't start.
She has a smirk. Well, it'll be some time before we see each other again.
I understand you will likely have already departed ahead of time before the rest, yes?
I've made arrangements. I know it was important that you and I, your and my arrivals were separate enough. And I'm leaving Lyra and Nearly and Davian and the mercenaries' capable care until you all arrive. It's my
I guess-
understanding that Davian wants to go with the neutral party, which is completely understandable.
And I suppose you intend to head back to speak with your fellows, yes?
Indeed. Get a grasp of things, how they've been on, and, well, how they react to. She kind of gestures to herself. That said, during the boat ride, I tend to delve into the rest of Al and get the memories back. I told Jake that I tell the people that I care about that I was planning, and the fact it might have some slight dangers to it. But I'm comfortable publicizing what I know as an incomplete story.
Just use caution.
Of course.
The last thing that your people will need is you to be lost at sea, one way or
Well, I think we've me.
He gets like a look in his eyes that like is like you could tell is like a little bit scared at that idea. Like, yeah, I guess so. I suppose you're right. Safe travels, and
You as well.
remember what we talked about before.
Of course.
I mean that.
Do you want to help me as well? We'll keep in touch.
He nods. Farewell, Astromary.
Farewell. And is it okay to hug him?
Yeah.
He hugs the king.
He'll hug.
Yeah.
It's a little bit stiffer than your hugs maybe when you first got here, but
Fair.
that makes sense. He's got a lot of other burdens on his mind as well.
He is stressed. He is a stressed boy.
Not to mention he's kind of since moved on.
He has recovered.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
And yeah. Do. You're going with most of them, so that's fine. So I guess honestly the one that obviously comes to mind is did you want to say anything substantial here to Lyra or Neely, or do you want, because I feel like that's going to be a big thing when they're leaving.
Oh, absolutely. Somewhere along, besides two big hugs and also wishing Lyra well, honestly, Cecil, we like just namely noting that telling Neely to be brave and that the oncoming days might be different, but you know.
I promise that while we're out, I'm gonna try and get better at swimming. And I'll try and be as brave as I can.
Cecil smiles and nods, probably trying not to cry herself, and I know you'll do your best.
She smiles.
Yeah, no, hugs, all those things.
Yeah.
It's namely just, the itinerary. She knows
like
where she...
putting off the goodbye for a little bit.
Though, she does know where she's going already. I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
that
That's
conversation
already been-
has been had.
She's trying not to talk about it because she might start crying.
Yeah, don't worry, it's okay.